Hi, hope everybody is okay. I thought I'd crack on with the live now and just kick off this first one in the group. So it's all very exciting. Things are really moving and in the right direction with the menopause group and activity, etc. And it's time for me to start sharing things to you verbally rather than just me typing it out all the time. So first of all, I just wanted to say that my name's Amanda, if you haven't worked it out, and I live in rural Shropshire. I live with my partner and my two furry babies, and they are my world, and this is why I want to do what I'm doing. I also love and have a passion about helping women who are looking at the menopause through symptoms they don't know they've got yet that are linked to the menopause, or have actually realised that is what they are now experiencing. And that's why I created the group. So the group is here to give tips, bring some important notices, because I am on a few groups on other platforms that I've got professionals, doctors, etc. And I am finding out a few things which is quite important that I'm going to share with the group. Not today, but as we move forward. And also show you natural ways that you can support your menopausal symptoms. The reason being that I know that natural ways are working is I'm 13 years into my surgical menopause journey, and I found it tough. I was 34, I'll tell you a little bit more as we go through, and I battled with the symptoms, I still do, and I am on HRT because I was so young I had to go on HRT, so, but I also needed some extra support. So as you go through, you'll find a little bit more about me. So let's start from the beginning, because the most common question I've been getting in the last week or so is, how do I know that I'm menopausal? You know you're menopausal really if you are feeling a little bit out of whack. So the first question I always ask is, how are you feeling at the moment? And most people say, I just feel like I'm falling apart. I've been to the doctors and he said or she said that we've done blood tests, everything, and it's all come back absolutely fine. But I don't feel fine. I feel really, really under the weather. My body hurts, everything. Also, if you're having trouble sleeping as well, or you're waking up during the night with anxiety, a lot of people think that the menopause is just about hot sweats and night sweats. It isn't. There's a load more to it. If also you have got a reduced libido, your sex drive is just not just gone, but it's gone, and you've got no real reason why. Also, vaginal dryness as well is a big key of the menopause. Brain fog, concentration, whether it's at home, around the kids, at work. A lot of professional women do suffer with this. I know I did in my job. I noticed that I wasn't keeping up with the young people in the group, and so I needed that added concentration, and really had to write a lot of notes when I was at work. Headaches, stiffness in your joints and your muscles, weight gain. You know, even the most active person can still not shift the weight during the menopause or up to the menopause. And that's the first sign that something, that your hormones are starting to change, is if you're really, really active, but you're just not shifting the weight, especially around the middle, which is a pain in the butt. There are over 35 different symptoms of menopause, and I found out another one last week, which is dry eye syndrome. Didn't even know it was a symptom of menopause. Been suffering with it for about 4 years, so you know, you learn something new every day. And the professionals always say, the key question they always ask, have your periods stopped in the last 12 months, or at least for the last 12 months? If they have, and you're between 45 and 51, 55, then you probably are either perimenopausal or in the menopause. However, you can still have symptoms of the menopause without your period stopping. So it's just tricky. Our hormones are just so they control everything about us. The big taboo and I don't feel this because I started the menopause when I was 34, is that the menopause is for old ladies. So no one really wants to admit that they're going through the menopause because they feel that they're getting old. Well, now we're all living longer, so that's just not the right attitude. We need to change the attitude, not be ashamed of going through the menopause. Be open with people, start engaging that conversation. It's amazing when you start talking about it, how many women open up and really have a great conversation, and also you find that you've got a lot in common with somebody who probably you didn't think before. There are three main types of menopause. There's perimenopause. A lot of people don't realise perimenopause is a symptom, is a type of menopause. What it means is you are experiencing menopausal symptoms in your mid to late 40s normally, and this could, that because it's before the natural age of the menopause, which will be all the symptoms I've just gone through. You'll start to feel tired, fatigued, irritable. 1 minute you'll be okay, next second you'll be crying. You probably are looking at perimenopause. A lot of women as well who are perimenopausal are either on the coil or on the pill. So you wouldn't really know if your periods have stopped yet either, but the symptoms will probably be there. The next one is the natural menopause. So that is when your body, or naturally, every woman goes through this, whether they have a lot of symptoms or not. Between the age of 45 and 51 is what they deem as the natural menopause. The average age is about 51. The third one is artificial and surgical menopause, and this is the category that I drop into because I had a complete hysterectomy at 34. So what this means is you've had the removal through an operation of your uterus or your womb, or all of it, ovaries, uterus, womb, which is what I did. Now the ovaries, if you keep the ovaries, they do provide some hormone support naturally. But when you take, but it is lowered, so you could still feel these effects, if not mildly. But once you take it all away, the reproductive system, you have no support. So literally you go into the operation, they take it all out, you wake up from the operation, you plunge into menopause, and it's all horrific. There are two additional ones. Obviously you've got medication side effects which give you menopausal symptoms, and cancer recovery treatments that give you menopausal symptoms, and all these symptoms can play havoc on your body, your mind and your soul and your sanity. The other one is premature menopause, which is premature ovaries insufficiency, which is again what happened to me. You take your ovaries away and then you get the menopause, and this is the bracket class for women in their 30s. So what you'll probably find is if you're in your 30s, because you're so young, you will be put on HRT. Now I've been on HRT from the beginning because my symptoms were horrific. I was on tablets for 10 years, and then I started getting some symptoms back, so then I switched over and went on to patches, and now I'm on gel, and it's a lot more easier. It doesn't go, the gel doesn't go into the bloodstream as much, it doesn't go via the liver, so it's a lot safer to use for your body. Obviously there are still health concerns, but I want equality of life for myself now. And also what HRT does, it helps to give you protection against osteoporosis and heart disease. And also if you're that young, you need that support, because if not, you could end up really poorly. Okay, so don't rule out HRT until you've spoke to women who have or are taking it. Okay, so the menopause. I love the menopause, I do. And even when I was at work, before I was even doing this and getting into it with the passion, I'd openly tell people, they go, oh, you're having a moment. Well, yeah, I am. And it's not, but you're too young. Am I? Why? You don't know my background. So the menopause is driven by our hormones. And we know from puberty, our hormones drive everything. And there are three main hormones that affect during the menopause. There's cortisol, which is your stress hormone. So this is the fight or flight hormone. And when that increases, that's when you can become wired and tired, and you wake up, can't get to sleep because you just can't close your head. You can't stop your thoughts. And when you do get to sleep, you wake up really tired in the morning. That does need to be kept under control because that can make you really poorly. The other one is thyroid. That's our emotional hormone. So that's why some women get imbalance in thyroids and then they start to feel terrible. The key one for the menopause is the estrogen hormone, or estrogen. It depends where you come from. This is the hormone that makes us female. This is our female hormone. This one is our sex hormone. So if our libido goes down, that could be a sign that your estrogen level is low, and vaginal dryness. It also is the one that peaks to get us through puberty, to go through reproductive system, so some lucky people can have children. And it also, on the other side of the coin, is it decreases as we get older, especially as we start to go into the menopause and come out the other end, because we don't need to reproduce, so the body thinks we don't need it, but actually because we're living longer we do need that reproduction with that hormone. So if you are feeling that you've got menopausal symptoms, then I would definitely go and see a doctor and talk about blood tests to see which one it is, so you can try and then gauge whether you want to go on HRT or you want to just stick with some more natural solutions. I combine the two. So some people go through the menopause. I know people have gone through and they've said, I was really lucky, I didn't really have that many symptoms. Great. I'm jealous. To be fair. The others, it feels like you've hit the wall at 100 miles an hour, and some days are good, some days bad. Everybody's different. Some symptoms, which I've said, you can see and feel: tiredness, sleepy, lack of libido, heart palpitations is another one, muscle stiffness, joints, etc. But there's two main ones which I have mentioned, which you can't see, which are important. It's osteoporosis, and which is the bones, and heart disease. So if you've got those in your family and you are menopausal and you're not on HRT, I recommend you supplement, because you need to look after your core, your skeleton, what gets you going. And so, you know, it is important to look after yourself. So looking after yourself, again, is key. We're all busy, and a lot of you have been mums. You'll be coming into the later part of your life where you would have had, you've got older parents you've got to manage. I've got a father-in-law I look after, so I'm running around with him. You've got a job to look after, you've got home life. It's busy, okay? You need to start to try and build in a few minutes a day, if it's only that, some self-care, okay? First of all, look at your diet. Now, the next 5 things you're going to say, I've heard this all before. Yeah, but are you doing it? Because if you're not doing it, then you're going to keep having the symptoms. You've got to eat right for your emotions. What they say is eat a rainbow when you have a meal. So if your food on your plate is beige, 9 times out of 10, that is not nutritious. Colour means, in most cases, nutrition. Also, as well, I got totally lost my train of thought. Good job I'm talking to menopausal women, eh? So eat the rainbow on your plate. Because, and also don't eat, that was what I was thinking, don't eat white stuff. So white bread, white rice, white pasta, because although they taste great, there's no nutrition. So you're eating empty calories. So you need to do wholemeal rice, wholemeal pasta, and you will get used to the taste. I've been on it now for about 20 years because I was in a health and nutrition business before. I've had nothing different. So I actually don't like white pasta or white rice. Also eat breakfast. Because if, like me, I eat at 5 o'clock at night and I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning now, but I don't have breakfast till about 8, 9 o'clock. So I've been fasting all that time, so my body needs me to break that fast. It's quite called breakfast. So have breakfast, put some protein in. I'm going to be doing a hormone diet through September, and I will be talking to everybody about it. So I will let you know, and what I'm doing is cutting out things, and I'll gradually then add them back in and see which one is my trigger for bloating, etc., etc. Because that's another menopausal symptom. Avoid foods that bloat you. I know that raw red onion bloats me up, so I cut that out my diet. I absolutely adore it as well, but I've got to be really careful. If I have it and spicy food, I've got to bear the brunt of it, really. So the trigger foods are all the good stuff. So sugar, alcohol, caffeine, just moderation. Not saying don't have them, but just cut them back. and try and look for a more healthier solution. Instead of white wine, have Prosecco. It's got less sugar in it, you know. And then the second one is to stay properly hydrated. Now, 43% of people in the UK only drink 4 glasses of water a day. Less than 25% of people drink 3 glasses of water a day, and 7% of the population drink no water. Now, water helps to keep this plump, and as we go through the menopause, I'm starting to see it. The collagen goes, that cysty goes, so we've got to keep hydrated. If you don't like water, I don't like tap water personally. I have really cold water, or I infuse it with lemons, limes, berries, that kind of thing, so that it tastes better. So just do what you can. If you really need to, put a tiny little bit of sugar-free squash in it, but only enough that you can just taste it. It takes the edge off the water. Excuse me. Your hormones depend on the hydration in your body, so you need to keep hydrated. Also, it's great to get rid of those wonderful cravings we get as well. The next one is exercise. Yeah. How am I going to fit it in? Well, I can't exercise like proper, and if you can, I'm really jealous because I really miss it. I've got bad back, bad knees, blah, blah, blah. So even walking at a good pace, so your breathing's starting to change, but you're not going to hurt yourself, for 30 minutes a day will help your health and your hormone health. So really, really, really look at just getting out. If you've got, excuse me, I got a bit of a tickle. If you've got a lunch hour, go for a walk for 20 minutes. It'll also help make the day go faster too. Sorry, I get a really tickly cough. And if I get that, then I'm sure I can't talk about anything. So if you've got any questions, by the way, just fire them over, and I'll try and answer them, or if not, I'll get back to you. And the fourth one is managing your stress levels. Now, stress is currently our worst enemy. Why does it always happen when you're on call? So you really need to try and look after your stress levels. And cortisol, obviously, if you've got very high cortisol, your stress is going to be through the roof. So you really need to look at some really good self-care rituals that you can incorporate into your day. Now, try deep breathing, and people won't know this. If you're in an office, they won't know you're doing it. You could do it while you're on the computer. All you need to do is just sit calmly, sit up straight. Don't need to close your eyes if you don't want to, but you just breathe in, and while you're inhaling, you push your tummy out, so you're getting as much air as possible as you can into your body, and as you exhale, you push your tummy in. So it's a bit opposite to what we normally do, but it really works. And if you do that 3 or 4 times, and you could do it while you're on the toilet at work, or even at home if you've got kids and you just can't get away, you can't get no peace, just to stop. If you feel like you're spiraling out of control, you're getting really anxious, you know you're going to snap somebody's head off or even more, kill them, then just take some time just to stop, do that 3 or 4 times and see if that helps you. We also obviously have essential oils that can help with relaxation and grounding, but that's not what I'm talking about today. This is all about just introducing myself and some good tips to get you trying to be stress-free. Also, what I find, and I started doing this just this year. I used to do it when I was younger, and someone brought me a journal for Christmas, so I thought, oh, I'll try it. And now I love it. I write all my thoughts down in my journal. It takes me 5 minutes. I used to do it when I was in an office job. In my lunch half hour I used to take it in, put my headphones in, write my journal while I was eating my lunch. What you can do is, even if it's just 5 minutes before the kids get up, or before you've got to go and do caring duties or take the dogs out, 5 minutes, write it all down, get it off your chest, and then if you want to, you can put little reminders in there, so that if you're getting brain fog and you can't concentrate, at least you know you've written it down and you don't have to worry that you've forgotten it, okay? The other thing as well, and I was speaking to a lady in my menopause mapping, and she was saying that she's got really high cortisol levels, and she can't switch off before she goes to sleep, and when she wakes up, that's it, she's awake for hours. and she doesn't want to put the phone on because obviously the light will wake up her partner. So I said, well, why don't you just put a notepad and pen in the toilet when you go in the bathroom? So if you wake up and you've got things whizzing around your head, you can write them all down. You know that they've gone then, and you don't have to worry because you haven't got to sit up all night wondering whether or not you're going to be able to remember them. And I bet you, if you suffer with this, I bet you if you do that, you will fall back to sleep. It's amazing because then you haven't got to worry. It's brilliant, and I love it, and it really has helped me, to be fair. And the final one, and we've heard it all before, sorry, but switch off your electronic devices at least an hour before bed. I do it as part of your nighttime ritual. So when you're cleansing your face, brushing your teeth, doing whatever you do at night, put your phone down, put your iPad down, or dim your iPad right down so the blueness doesn't come through. But also just pick up, if reading gets you off to sleep, get a proper book and start reading it. I'm a Kindle lover, and I started reading a book and I was absolutely amazed how much better I slept at night by doing that. So just give it a try. Hopefully it'll work, but definitely try and reduce your electronic device time before bed, because it stops your brain moving and working as well, especially if you're reading the news before bed. God, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to sleep. Also, I don't drink caffeine, which I never said, after midday, because I know if I do, I'll be awake at night. So find out what could be your trigger. It could be if you're not sleeping, you're having caffeine a little bit too late in the day for you as an individual. Okay. So I didn't want to kind of keep babbling on forever and ever and ever. So I've just done a quick introduction of what the menopause stages are, what the kind of symptoms you can do. I will be going into each unit again in more depth, about food, nutrition, stress, etc. I will be giving more natural ways to do this along the way as well, that you can implement or not implement, totally up to you. And I really want to say that on a Wednesday, 11 o'clock, I will be doing these sessions. And I really could do with you firing over any questions you've got, so then I can plan before the call to answer them for you, to make sure I'm getting the right information. Because as I said, I'm getting a lot of my information from proper medical sources, because I don't want to give you false information. And yeah, it's been great. But has anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? No? Got any questions? I can't see. Anybody got any questions? Can't see. Right, okay. Well, thank you for joining me. And if you've got any questions, fire them in the group or privately message me and I can do that for you. All right, take care. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.